Sweaters tonight with black and white trim, a subtle gray and black checkerboard pattern, or you should say a checkered flag pattern in those black stripes on the trim at the bottom of the sweaters, and also on the socks, which have the same striping pattern, red on top and black on the bottom with gray and white stripes in between. Fuel logo across the front, black numbers on the back, black pants as well. Fort Wayne in the road white uniforms with orange shoulder yokes trimmed in black, black numbers trimmed in orange. The Comets logo across the front, black pants and white socks with orange and black trim. The Fuel will move from right to left as you picture this rink in your mind's eye. John Lindner is our referee. The linesman Brian Gorkoff and Dan Kovacic. The Fuel begin with Tommy Apap in between Seamus Malone and C.J. Ike. On defense, Cliff Watson and Mike Lee. Fort Wayne counters with Will Graber, Kellen Jones, and Sean Boudrea up front. And Matt Murphy and Marcus McIver on D. Puck in behind the Fort Wayne net off the draw. Tommy Apap takes in the right wing corner of the Comets in. Plays it up to Lee at the right point. Across Cliff Watson. Wrists one goalward wide from the left point. And Kellen Jones hops on the loose puck for Fort Wayne. We'll get it as far as the Fuel line where it's settled down by Mike Lee. Graber in on the forecheck. Lee curls back, headmans to the Fort Wayne line, but Tommy Apap couldn't handle the pass cleanly, and that forces the play offside. We have a whistle 30 seconds into the game. The goaltenders again, Yuri Patera for Fort Wayne. This is his 8th appearance. He's 3-3-1 with a 2.83 goals against average. 6th round pick of the Vegas Golden Knights in 2018 and contracted to the Golden Knights, the Comets National Hockey League affiliate. And Cale Morris in net for the Fuel. This is his 12th game. He's 3-5-2 with a 2.96 goals against average. This is the 4th consecutive game Morris has started. Fuel control in the Fort Wayne end. It skitters into the far corner. DJ King sends it further along and now curls back to safety. Goes D to Blake Siebenauer, who's back from a tour in the American Hockey League. Puts it right on the tape of Petrozelli across the Fuel line. Good poke check by Keone Teixeira. Forces it along the boards, and Spencer Watson picks it off and takes it out to neutral ice. Pass to Teixeira was in his skates. It's intercepted by Petrozelli. He'll bring it across the Fuel line. Leave it up to the point for a wrister wide off the stick of Matt Alvaro. The Fuel want transition the other way. 1-on-3 across the line as the Fuel are changing behind the play. And Fort Wayne breaks it up. Zach Tolkinen, who's playing a right wing tonight, normally a defenseman, lobs it out to center. Jacob Laguerriere skies it into the Fort Wayne end, firing it behind the net. Chad Yetman in on the forecheck. It's forced free from him by Corbin Baldwin, but the next layer, Riley McKay, hops on it in the right wing corner. It's spiked away from him and cleared all the way down. This should be, it will be icing. A minute 43 into the game. The Fuel and Comets scoreless. Andrew Smith along with you from the Indiana Farmers Coliseum. Nick Olchek is on National Hockey League duty tonight. You'll hear him with John Weideman on the Chicago Blackhawks broadcast tomorrow night as they take on the Washington Capitals. Nick made his NHL broadcasting debut a couple weeks back, and excited for him to get some more opportunities to call Blackhawks games. And so we will happily loan him to John Weideman in the Blackhawks broadcast for a bit as we're back to action here. As Riley McKay banks it into the Fort Wayne end. Corbin Baldwin gets to it for the Comets. Tips it ahead to Marcus Ortiz. Wraps it around the boards. Picked off by Seamus Malone along the right wing boards. Malone tries to bring it toward the middle, but it's broken up by Fort Wayne, and Ortiz brings it the other way. Fires it into the Fuel end. Jermaine hops on it. Cycles it into Ortiz behind the Fuel goal. Into the right wing corner for Tyler Bush for Fort Wayne. Walking the goal line. Banks it off the boards to Marcus McIver. Wrists one wide. Takes a weird carom off the boards as they hit, I think, a stanchion a little higher than the end boards and caromed right back to the crease. Cale Morris was on top of that. Covered up for a whistle. 2.5 minutes into the game. And back to the previous point. Want to wish Nick well as he's got opportunities to call National Hockey League games with the Blackhawks. He gets the call up, and really, really proud of Nick and the great work he's doing with us here with the Fuel, but also with the Blackhawks as an analyst on some of their games, and Also behind the scenes with TNT as well, helping produce their studio show. Fort Wayne wins the offensive zone draw. Jones couldn't get the shot off. Comes up to the point where McIver holds it in. Sends it into the far corner. Keone Teixeira hops on it. CJ Ike tries to force it out of the zone. It can't. Teixeira is able to settle the puck down, send it back to Kirill Chaika, who headmans it out to neutral ice. Puck loose there. CJ Ike battling for it. Plays it into the left wing corner on the Fort Wayne end. Murphy gets there first, tries to wrap it around the boards. It hits a stick and knocks the stick out of a Fuel player's hands, but McIver gets to it, sends it up to center. Kellen Jones bats it in, wide of the Fuel goal. Morris will leave for his defense. Stretch pass through center, tipped into the Fort Wayne end by Seamus Malone. He goes for a change as Jared Thomas goes into the forecheck. DJ King, son of Blackhawks coach Derek King, forced back behind his own goal. The Fuel forecheck bothering Fort Wayne a little bit, but they are able to break it out to center where Chris Cameron settles it down for Indy. Short pass ahead to the Fort Wayne line, broken up, comes back to Cameron into his own line, shovels it ahead to Jared Thomas. Across the Fort Wayne line, couldn't handle the pass cleanly, but sends it into the left wing corner. He and Brent Gates go after it, but Blake Siebenauer takes the puck for the Comets behind his own net. Up the far side, Petrozelli, rink wide through the neutral zone. Alvaro across the line, Conjure sends it across for Petrozelli. It's spiked behind him, but the Comets maintain possession. Alvaro wraps it around the boards to Connor Corcoran. Zings it across for Baldwin. He shoots, and the save is made by Morris on the shot from the point. Comets hold it in. Petrozelli for a one-timer that goes wide from Corcoran from the right point. Pucks it in behind the Fuel net. Jared Thomas able to clear but not out. Held in by Alvaro. His shot is blocked. Spencer Watson gets to it and clips it off the glass and out to neutral ice. The Fuel will get a fire wagon change as Connor Corcoran hammers it back in. Fort Wayne uses the opportunity to get fresh Comets on the ice as well. Puck sent around the horn, back in behind the net, settled down by the Fuel. Teixeira stretch pass to the Fort Wayne line, doesn't connect with McKay, but McKay's going to beat out the icing. Rimmed around and then back in behind the net, looking for McKay, hops over his stick. Cliff Watson pinches down the boards to keep it in. Comes in behind the net to an open corner where Matt Murphy hops on it for Fort Wayne. He'll skate it out to center. Headmans to the neutral zone for Germain. He'll fire cross corner into the Fuel end. The Comets are offside, as one of the Fort Wayne wingers was just barely ahead of the line when the puck was sent in. So 15:09 to go, scoreless first period. The only shot of the game so far belongs to Fort Wayne. Should say the only shot that has been on goal. Face off outside the Fuel line. Graber, a defenseman normally, but he has had to play forward as Fort Wayne's been so short-handed and play center, and he's actually centering what was their top line in warm-ups with Kellen Jones and Sean Boudria. Fuel win the draw in the neutral zone, but turn it over. Graber holds it into the line, feeds Kellen Jones, left circle, shoots on goal, right into the breadbasket of Cale Morris, who gobbles it up to get a whistle with 14:57 to go. That not a good place to turn the puck over, as the Comets intercepted it at the line, and Kellen Jones inside the top of the left wing circle had a pretty good look at it, but Cale Morris was in good position, tracking the puck well to make his second save of the night. Tommy Apap to take the defensive zone draw against Graber. Tied up in the circle. Graber tried to send it goalward. It was knocked down by Mike Lee and broken out to center. CJ Ike ahead to Seamus Malone. Fires it in behind the Fort Wayne goal. Ike goes in after it. Chipped along the boards up to the point. Held in by Tommy Apap. Sends it in behind the Fort Wayne net where Blake Siebenauer settles it down. Fort Wayne native, former draft pick of the Columbus Blue Jackets, headmans to Boudria. Skates through center with speed, ahead to Siebenauer, left side, into the zone. He shoots, deflected wide. Kellen Jones hops on it for Fort Wayne. Right corner, surveys. Up to the right point for Connor Corcoran. Wrists one wide. Boudria hops on it, left circle. Up to the point for Corbin Baldwin. It hopped over his stick, out to center. And now CJ Ike hops on the puck into the Fort Wayne zone. Right corner with Baldwin riding them all the way. One of the Fuel players goes down. Battling for the puck, that allows Corbin Baldwin, the veteran, to take it for Fort Wayne. Seamus Malone tries to tie him up. Kellen Jones is able to dig the puck free from them and allow the Comets to get possession. Fort Wayne will take the opportunity to get a change. Indy will as well with 13:50 to go in a scoreless first period. Petrozelli through center. Make that Alvaro laterally across the Fuel line. Takes it into the right wing corner. Puts on the brakes. and then wraps it in behind the net for Petruzzelli. Teixeira gives him a bump, but the next layer is Condra up to the point for Baldwin. Back to Petruzzelli, left circle. His shot is deflected on goal. It changed speeds and directions, but Cale Morris was able to hop on it and get a whistle. 13:30 to go in the opening period. We're scoreless between the Indy Fuel and Fort Wayne Comets. This is Indy Fuel Hockey.
Midwest Sport and Spine is the official chiropractor of the Indy Fuel. Go where the fuel go for sports medicine for a pain-free everyday life. Midwest Sport and Spine offers state-of-the-art technology, chiropractic physical therapy, athletic training, and massage therapy all under one roof. And yes, we take your insurance. Take advantage of our Fuel Fan discount for a $59 introductory massage offer. Midwest Sport and Spine, sports medicine for a pain-free everyday life. Go to MidwestSportandSpineCenter.com to schedule your appointment now.
Hi, this is Jeff Wheeler, Business Manager of IBEW Local 41. I am proud to represent more than 3,000 union electrical workers in central Indiana. From Bankers Life Fieldhouse to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway to the annual Circle of Lights, we are proud to power your community. IBEW Local 41 is proud of our union membership and our community leadership.
This is Indy Fuel Hockey.
13:30 to go in the opening period. Andrew Smith along with you as the Indy Fuel and Fort Wayne Comets are scoreless. During the TV timeout, Scott Allen was ringside presenting a check for $2,975, a donation from the Indy Fuel to Bosma Enterprises. Bosma has been a great partner of the Fuels over the years, and their CEO, Jeffrey Mittman, a veteran of the United States military and just an absolutely wonderful person, and have had the good fortune to get to know his family and in my day job, and certainly Bosma has been a great partner of the Fuel, and they do such wonderful things for the visually impaired here in central Indiana. Fuel and Comets scoreless. We're back to action as the puck shoveled into the left wing corner of the Fuel end as Fort Wayne won an offensive zone draw. It's raked free from Alvaro by Jared Thomas, played up the far board. Spencer Watson battling for it but can't get it out. Puck spiked along the far boards. Matt Murphy tries to one-hand it further along for Alvaro. Jared Thomas ties him up, and it's put by Murphy right back into their skate. Spencer Watson's able to take it away, send it all the way across the rink in his own defensive zone to Brent Gates, who exits out to center. Spencer Watson spikes it into the Fort Wayne end. Gates tried to make that. Thomas tried to make a play on it. Couldn't. Brent Gates does. Into the left wing circle. Fort Wayne in. Tries to send it across, but didn't have a lane and sent a soft shot in on Patera, who was able to make his first save of the night. Patera covers up for a whistle with 12:46 to go in a scoreless first. Of a very cautious start to this game, very defensive. Fuel have an offensive zone draw. Cedric Lacroix to take it in between McKay and Yetman. He's got Cliff Watson and Lee on the points. Left wing circled, and the faceoff is not been won by anybody yet, now by the Fuel. Yetman sends it up to the point for Lee for a one-timer. He fouled it off. Puck in along the far boards. King sends it in behind his own net to Siebenauer, who wraps it around the wall to Ortiz and exits the zone. Bush ahead into the Fuel zone to Germain. Puts on the brakes. Right wing boards. Tries to feed Ortiz, the trailer, but the pass was behind him in his skates. And the puck played up to the neutral zone where Bush gets to it and will wrap it back in. The Comets tag up. As the Fuel go back to get the puck, Mike Lee had some difficulty handling it behind his own net, but was able to at least spray it as far as the Fort Wayne line, where Siebenauer sends it back in. Quick re-entry for the Comets. Lacroix waits for two forecheckers to come in and then wraps it around the boards to Riley McKay. Across center red, all the way across the ice to the right wing side, into the Fort Wayne zone. Right circle, tries to turn to goal, but he was forced wide of the cage. Stays on the puck, feeds Yetman left circle. Up to the point, Teixeira will cycle it back in, looking for APAP. The pass a little too far for him. Siebenauer collects for Fort Wayne. He'll go to his D partner, Corcoran, and they'll bring it out to center. Graber ahead to Boutria across the Fuel line. He wrists one goalward. It looked like it was a pass ahead for Graber, but the pass was a little too far for him and came all the way in on Cale Morris, the Fuel goaltender, who covers up for a whistle. Cale Morris, those of you watching on Flow Hockey, see the Notre Dame Fighting Irish logo. Cale contracted to the Rockford Ice Hogs. He's got the Irish logo, his college team on the back of his mask. Cale led the Irish to 2 national championship games during his 4-year tenure at Notre Dame before signing with Rockford last season. The NCAA's Goaltender of the Year, the Mike Richter Award winner in 2018, his sophomore year. Face-off in the right wing circle in Morris's end, won by the Comets. Kellen Jones finds Boudrea at the circle. He tried to take it goalward. Now is shot by Graber right on from point-blank range through traffic. Morris makes the save. Kellen Jones with it right circle. Back up to the point. Baldwin over for a one-timer from a sharp angle off the stick of Connor Corcoran, and a positional save made by Morris. Comets cycled in looking for Boudrea. Pass a little too far for him. Kirill Chaika picks it off, and the Fuel bank it off the boards out to center. Kellen Jones collects at neutral ice. Connor Corcoran along the right wing boards tried to send it in, and it's kicked back into the Fort Wayne end by Seamus Malone. Scoreless, 10:55 to go first period. Pass doesn't connect with Graber at neutral ice. Picked off by LeGarrier along the left wing boards. Ahead to Thomas. Tried to feed it across to the point, but it was broken up by Fort Wayne. Held in. Shot goes wide off the stick of Gates from the right point. Squirts free. Bouncing puck couldn't be settled down by Jared Thomas. And so it's played back into the Fuel end where Chris Cameron, a rookie defenseman, goes back to get it. He and Jacob LeGarrier, another rookie, forming the D pairing. Fort Wayne with a 3-man forecheck. Pass ahead to Jared Thomas. Doesn't connect, so this will be an icing. With 10:25 to go in the opening period. Shots are 4-1 in favor of Fort Wayne. We have no score. Really neither team with a great scoring chance, other than Will Graber had a pretty good look from below the hash marks with traffic in the previous sequence. This is probably the best chance of the night for either team. Face-off will be to Morris's right. And Jared Thomas taking it for the Fuel. It's still tied up on the dot. Spencer Watson's able to spray it up to the line, and Brent Gates sweeps it out to neutral ice, working 1-on-3 across the line. Gates shoots on goal. Patera makes the save, and he thought about keeping the puck moving, but discretion is the better part of valor, and he holds on for a whistle instead. So the Fuel will get an offensive zone face-off. 10:12 to go, scoreless first period. This is the third meeting between these two teams, all here at the Indiana Farmers Coliseum in the span of 15 days. They'll play again on December 26th. That'll be the first of 3 meetings this season in Fort Wayne. Fuel will win the draw. Mike Lee tried a one-timer, blocked into the far corner by Petrozelli. Cedric Lacroix and Marcus McIver tie each other up. Puck squirts free to Lee at the right point. Eludes the forechecking Petrozelli. Backhands it up to the point for Yetman. Tried to play it across to Cliff Watson. It was a dangerous pass broken up by Fort Wayne, but Yetman was able to backcheck and break up any rush. Puck comes back into the Fuel end. Conger forces a turnover behind the net. Conger into the right circle for Alvaro. Now to Petrozelli, right corner for the Comets. He'll backhand it for Alvaro. Up to the point, Siebenaler walks the line. Across for Murphy, back to Siebenaler, and the puck hopped over his stick and out to neutral ice. Alvaro loses it to Lacroix, and there's a reason why. Lacroix held him. So Fort Wayne will go to the power play with 9:25 to go in the first period. This is an area where the Fuel have struggled a little bit, is on the penalty kill. Lacroix will go for a hold. Time of the penalty is 10:35 of the first. Fort Wayne heads to the power play. On the season, Fort Wayne 24th in the league at 15.3%. The Fuel on the penalty kill 25th at 75%. Indy has allowed a power play goal in 12 of its last 13 games. And Fort Wayne is 1 for its last 15 on the power play, but that one came against the Fuel on Saturday night. Petrozelli dips the shoulder, takes it to goal, feeds Kellen Jones with a redirection on the doorstep, and Cale Morris comes across to make the save. Great chance for Fort Wayne off the rush. Will Graber with it, right circle. 1:30 to go on the power play. Tried to play it up to the point, broken up by APAP. It goes over to the far boards. Kellen Jones keeps it alive. It sits at the circle. Bush back up to the point for Graber for a one-timer that didn't get all the way through. It stung one of the defensemen. Connor Corcoran holds it in. Graber right circle. Plays pitch and catch with Bush, and then Graber tried to pick the top corner and missed high. And the rebound caromed off the back glass all the way out to neutral ice. Quick re-entry for the Comets. Graber sends it in. Morris leaves for his defense. Cliff Watson banks it around, but it's batted back in behind the Fuel net. 57 seconds to go on the power play, and we have a penalty. Interference call coming. And it looks like it's going to be on Tyler Bush as he was trying to prevent Jared Thomas from getting to the puck. So we'll skate 4 aside for 55 seconds. So offensive zone penalty on the power play. Those are the kind of plays that drive you nuts, as Jared Thomas was trying to get to the corner for the puck and Tyler Bush got in his way. So we've got 55 seconds of 4-on-4, 8:19 to go in the period. So the time of the penalty, 11:41. And then the Fuel will have an abbreviated power play. Fort Wayne wins the draw. It's goaltender interference, actually. So Bush ran into Cale Morris. And the Comets bring it into the zone offside as Sean Boudreau was doing the splits trying to stay on, but couldn't do so. So face off and neutral ice. 42 seconds to go on the 4-on-4. Getman and Spencer Watson, the forwards. Cliff Watson and Teixeira, the D. Doug Christensen going with a very offensive-minded four-man group. Murphy and Siebenau are the D for Fort Wayne. Alvaro and Boudreau are the forwards. Spencer Watson digs the puck free. Plays a give and go. He shoots from inside the slot, just on the inside of the right wing circle. And the save is made by Patera. Rebound cleared out to neutral ice by Fort Wayne. Cliff Watson into his own line up the left wing board. Sends it across in the neutral zone to Jared Thomas. Puts on the brakes. Tries to feed Cliff Watson. Pass a little too far out in front of him. Spencer Watson hops on it along the right wing boards. Runs into the official, and McIver is able to take the puck. Lacroix is out of the box. The Fuel are on the power play for another 65 seconds. Fort Wayne with possession. Will Graber will rag some time and then play it further back for McIver, who will rag a little bit more time and then send it up to the Fuel line for Kellen Jones. Jones in the Fuel zone, shorthanded. Right circle. Plays it to Will Graber. He curls back and then tried to play it up to the point, but comes all the way back into the Fort Wayne end. Corbin Baldwin will go back to get it. The former Kansas City Maverick scales it to center ice. It's kicked by Seamus Malone. Ahead to Kellen Jones. 2-on-1 for Fort Wayne. Jones in tight, fires, and Morris makes a positional save. So the Fuel with 40 seconds of power play time, but most of the puck has been in the Fuel end. Mike Lee will skate it up. Surveys the penalty killing box with 14 seconds to go on the power play. Brent Gates across the Fort Wayne line ahead to Tommy Apap. He'll wrist it in through both corners to Seamus Malone. Left boards tried to play it into the middle. It was broken up by the penalty killing box, and Kellen Jones will backhand it all the way down. That'll do it for the Fuel's power play. Each team now 0 for 1 with the man advantage. We're scoreless with 6:10 to go in the first period. LeGarrier across the Fort Wayne line. Drops it for McKay, left point. Wrists one wide from the point. Off the inboards, the puck played up to the point. Chris Cameron laid a hit to keep the play alive. Lacroix tries to play it into the middle. Cameron one-hands it wide, and then he takes off the gloves and goes after DJ King and tackles him. Cameron took a one-handed shot and then in one motion turned around and decked DJ King. If that may be a little bit of residual from Saturday night. And it looks like roughing is going to be the call. And we'll see double roughing minors at least, and we'll see if we have anything else out of this. 5:53 to go. First period, we're scoreless. This is Indy Fuel Hockey.
This is Dr. Ram Yuleti, Chief Physician Executive at Community Health Network. I know that for a lot of you, COVID-19 has changed your day-to-day lives in some pretty dramatic ways. But as things are progressing, there's one thing we sincerely hope you'll continue to do just as before, and that's to seek medical care when you need it. So please, focus on getting the care you need, and we'll focus on keeping you safe while you do.
There's no safer place to be. Learn more at ecommunity.com.
Stand by.
Exceptional care, simply delivered.
During Happy Honda Days, discover the joys of the season with unforgettable trips in an Accord, Pilot, or HR-V. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get 1.9% APR on the 2021 Honda Accord and 0% APR on the 2022 Pilot or HR-V. Find your perfect Honda this season. Visit your local Honda dealer today or shop online.
This is my kind of holiday.
It's the Happy Honda Day sales event at your Central Indiana Honda dealers.
See dealer for financing details.
Don't miss a second of the action. This is Indy Fuel Hockey.
Don't forget this event is being streamed live today. Go to flowhockey.tv, download the Flow Sports app on iOS, Android, Roku, Apple TV 4, and Amazon Fire TV to catch all of the action and archived footage. The Indy Fuel and FortWayne Comits scoreless. They're going to skate four aside for the next 2 minutes as Chris Cameron for the Fuel and DJ King of Fort Wayne are serving matching roughing minors. Actually, they gave Cameron 2 for roughing and DJ King 2 for a cross check. Whatever the case, we're four aside for 2 minutes. Face off in the right wing circle, Fort Wayne's end. Jared Thomas unable to win it from Alvaro. Puck battle ensues. Gate shovels it behind the net, but it's taken there by Marcus McIver of Fort Wayne. Wide feed, Alvaro across the Fuel line. Trying a backhand feed, kicked up to the point, but McIver holds it in. Left circle, takes it to goal, that rolls in on Morris, who loves it off the short hop like a shortstop and gets a whistle with 5:35 to go in the period. Scoreless, shots are 7-3 in favor of Fort Wayne. A minute 42 remaining in the 4-on-4. Alvaro and Petrozelli, the forwards for Fort Wayne. McIver and Murphy, the D. The Fuel were trying to send APAP and Lacroix on late, and in the opinion of our referee, John Lindner, too late. He sent it back to the bench. So Thomas and Gates, the forwards now for the Fuel, with Lee and Cliff Watson on D. Thomas is tossed out of the circle, so Gates will take the face off to Morris's right. And on the third try, they finally get it down. Comets win it cleanly. McIver with it right point. Wrist one. Deflected on goal save made. Rebound. Morris got that one too as he absolutely robbed Alvaro on the first shot. And then Murphy coming down the slot on the second. Murphy, quick re-entry after the Fuel had cleared the zone. Cliff Watson ties him up and takes the puck away. Mike Lee, stretch pass to the Fort Wayne line. Sent across to Cliff Watson. Kids right down Main Street. He shoots just wide as he was able to elude the D, but couldn't get the puck on frame. Puck comes up to the point, held in by Mike Lee. Walks the line, didn't find what he wanted. Wanted to maintain possession, so he skates it out to center, and then an errant pass is picked off by the Comets, but then taken right back by Brent Gates at his own line. Fuel changing behind the play. 53 seconds remaining in the 4-on-4 is Teixeira across the Fort Wayne line into the slot. Wrist one wide of the left post. Wristed back in through both corners. Leguerrier hustles over to bank it off the boards to Tommy Apap. He fires, save made, juicy rebound right into the slot. And it's corralled by Kellen Jones, but we have a penalty on the Comets. Will Graber for a slash. So the Fuel will have a 4-on-3 power play for 38 seconds. With 4:30 to go in the opening period. It's a really good opportunity here for the Fuel. So it'll be 4-on-3 for 38 seconds and then 5-on-4 for the last minute 22. Of course, that all could be wiped if the Fuel can score. Lacroix and Yetman, the forwards. Comets win the draw. Murphy couldn't handle it cleanly, however. It's wrapped around the boards, held in by Teixeira, left point. Keone walking the line over to the far side. Spencer Watson skates in and misses just high with a wrist shot. Held in along the boards by Yetman. They'll send it across to Spencer Watson. 18 seconds to go on the 4-on-3. Left circle, Teixeira. Tried to send it back up to Spencer Watson, broken up, but Spencer gets it back. Teixeira with it left point. Fires it across. Now Spencer Watson with a one-timer blocked. From the bottom of the left wing circle, they moved Watson over to the left side. And he had the one-timer, but Marcus McIver in good position. The fuel penalty is over to Cameron. King is also out of the box, and now we're 5-on-4 for another minute 15. Lacroix, left circle, he scores! The fuel off the rush feeds Cedric Lacroix at the inside of the left wing circle, and he beats Patera cleanly on the glove side. A power play goal for Cedric Lacroix, and the Fuel lead at 1-0. The Fuel score off the rush. They feed Lacroix at all kinds of time. The defenseman tried to force him wide, but Seti was able to find a little bit of space to beat Patera on the glove side. It's Lacroix's third goal of the year and gives the Fuel a 1-0 lead. Indy 3-4-2 when scoring first this year. It's just the fourth time Fort Wayne has allowed the first goal. They're 1-2 when doing that. Teixeira with the lone assist. So Lacroix from Teixeira on the power play at 16-19 gives the Fuel a 1-0 lead. Fort Wayne with possession as we're back to action. Graber behind the Fuel net. Tried to play it out in front, and the shot from Boudreau blocked wide. Graber tried to set it back on goal from the right corner, and it whistled through the crease. Fuel play to the Fort Wayne line. DJ King trying to elude the forechecking of Seamus Malone across to Will Graber, right wing boards. Forced to curl back by Keegan Iverson. I believe this is Iverson's first shift of the night, and the first of his career since 2017-18 when he played a season with the Manchester Monarchs and the Ontario Reign. Now the Fuel are going to be short-handed as Nick Germain had the stick slashed out of his hands as he was trying to send it in, and it happened right in front of our referee, John Lindner, and not going to miss that one too often. Kirill Chaika is going to sit for slashing, and now Fort Wayne to the power play for the second time tonight. So right after the Fuel score a power play goal, they send the Comets to the man advantage. Kirill Chaika sits for slashing. Fort Wayne 0 for 1 tonight. Alvaro to take the draw. Germain and Boudreau, the other forwards. Siebenaller and Murphy are the D for Fort Wayne. Face-off is to Morris's right. Tommy Apap to take the draw for the Fuel. Tied up in the circle, still tied up. And it finally squirts free to Germain. But Laguerriere gets to it, wraps it all the way around the carousel and all the way down the ice. So the Fuel were able to get the initial clear after a lot of work. Boudreau brings it across the line, beats a D, tries to go high short side on Morris, but the Fuel goaltender was able to hold the fort. Comets tried to play it up to the point, picked off by C.J. Ike across for Chad Yetman. He'll follow the puck into the right wing corner in the Fort Wayne end. Murphy ties him up. That allows Alvaro to take the puck because there's 2 minutes to go in the period. 1:20 in Fort Wayne's power play. Fuel lead 1-0. Matt Murphy, guy with a lot of American Hockey League experience. He's one of the better defensemen on Fort Wayne's Kelly Cup championship team last year. Slowly skates it up, drops it on the delay play to Petrozelli. And now Graber brings it across the Fuel line. A give and go with Kellen Jones, broken up by the Fuel. Chris Cameron wraps it around, but it's held in by Fort Wayne. Corcoran at the left point. To Bush, back up to Corcoran, left point. Now to Kellen Jones, left circle. Peels off the boards, now backs up to the half wall. And sends it up top for Corcoran. Walking the line, center point through traffic. Didn't get all the way through. And Riley McKay found the puck. Send it ahead to Seamus Malone. Give it a go with McKay across the Fort Wayne line. 1-on-3. He shoots. Blocked into the corner by the Fort Wayne defense and Kellen Jones. 1:08 to go in the period. 27 seconds left in Fort Wayne's power play. The Fuel lead 1-0. Petrozelli with it through center across the Fuel line. Broken up nicely LeGarrier with a poke check, and Cliff Watson sends it down the river. Patera, the Fort Wayne goaltender, will leave for the defense with 49 seconds to go in the period. 7 seconds to go in Fort Wayne's power play as Ortiz brings it across the line and gets dumped by LeGarrier. A good stand-up check by the Fuel rookie defenseman, and the Fuel gain possession. Back to 5 aside as Chaik is out of the box. LeGarrier brings it across the Fort Wayne line, but Lacroix was in ahead of the play, so we have an offside. With 28.8 seconds to go in the first period. Our intermission show coming up momentarily when we'll bring you one of the 2 newly minted co-captains from the Indy Fuel. You heard from one, Cliff Watson, on Saturday. You'll hear from the other, Keone Teixeira, tonight. So our chat with Keone will be coming in the first intermission. And then 28.8 seconds, and now counting, of clock time. McIver sends it to the Fuel line. Teixeira bunts it forward, picked up by Conjure. Ahead to Alvaro, right circle, shot. Didn't get through, it was blocked. Spencer Watson hops out of the far boards, but the puck wouldn't go with him. Ortiz takes it back for Fort Wayne. Walks the goal line, but loses the puck as he tried to take it to goal. 2-on-1 developing for Indy with 7 across the line. Thomas, left circle, shoots, and misses the top right corner. Lively carry him out to center. Alvaro gets to it, and that's how the first period ends. Pretty good chances both ways developing in the closing seconds. Jared Thomas had a really good look on the 2-on-1. He tried to pick the top right corner from the left circle, but it ended up going high and wide. So we remain 1-0. The Fuel in the lead after 1. The shots on goal, 8-5 in favor of Fort Wayne. It was a very tightly played, tightly checked first period between these 2 teams, and so the Fuel with a 1-0 lead. We are going to take a break. When we come back, we'll bring you our first intermission stats, a look around the ECHL, and what else is going on in pro hockey, and more. That comes up right after this. This is Indy Fuel Hockey.
Midwest Sport and Spine is the official chiropractor of the Indy Fuel. Go where the Fuel go for sports medicine for a pain-free everyday life. Midwest Sport and Spine offers state-of-the-art technology, chiropractic physical therapy, athletic training, and massage therapy all under one roof. And yes, we take your insurance. Take advantage of our Fuel Fan discount for a $59 introductory massage offer. Midwest Sport and Spine, sports medicine for a pain-free everyday life. Go to MidwestSportandSpineCenter.com to schedule your appointment now.
Remember Krista from Kemper Technology Consulting last year?
What's icing?
Well, she's learned a lot since then.
Get him! Hit him again! Shoot!
And she's become a huge Fuel fan.
Go, Fuel! Woo!
Let the team at Kemper put that same enthusiasm to work for you. Specializing in accounting software support with QuickBooks Professional Certification, Kemper gives you real people solving real problems. They can also help your network infrastructure, too. Call 866-966-5633 or visit KemperTC.com.
Come on, Rev! Idiot.
Don't miss a second of the action. This is Indy Fuel Hockey.
First intermission at the Indiana Farmers Coliseum. Andrew Smith along with you as the Indy Fuel lead the Fort Wayne Comets 1-0. Cedric Lacroix, a power play goal, his 3rd of the year, from Keone Teixeira at 16:19 of the first period. The only goal for Lacroix. That's his first goal in 14 games, and his last came on October 30th against Cincinnati. And Keone playing in career game number 196. You'll hear from him in just a little bit. That was his first point in a span of 6 games since November 19th. Shots on goal were 8-5 in favor of Fort Wayne. The Fuel were 1 for 2 on the power play. The Comets were 0 for 2. Those are our first intermission stats. They are sponsored by the Midwest Sport and Spine Clinic. They are the official chiropractors of your Indy Fuel. And they sponsor our first intermission stats every night. And tonight, the only stat that we really care about is the one on the scoreboard, and that shows the Fuel leading the Comets by a count of 1-0. Really good period, and it was one of those 5-on-5. Neither team really was able to generate a lot. It was a very tightly played game. a lot of attempting to make things happen off the cycle because both teams are very disciplined defensively and just not a whole lot happening in the offensive zone because, again, both teams very disciplined defensively, and the only goal coming on the power play, and really the majority of the scoring chances came either on the power plays or that brief time when we were 4-on-4 as well. And so it's the start you want if you're the Fuel, though, as you get that first goal. When leading after one, the Fuel have not been in this position very much. They're just 1-1-1 when leading after one. Fort Wayne is 1-2 when trailing after one. So again, kind of unfamiliar territory for both teams. Let's take a quick spin around what else is going on in the league. And one game late in the third, Newfoundland leads Reading 4-2. Old friend Jake Pritchard has a pair of goals for the Royals in that one. Jacksonville leads Orlando 1-0 on Derek Lodermeyer's goal. That game in the first intermission. Maine and Worcester tied at 1 after 1. Trois-Rivières and Florida also tied at 1 after 1. Midway through the first, Atlanta and Norfolk are scoreless. Iowa will host Wichita at the top of the hour. In the American Hockey League, the Rockford Ice Hogs are in action tonight. They travel to Milwaukee. The puck drops at the top of the hour in that one. 4 games underway in the National Hockey League. The Rangers lead the Flyers 2-0 after a period. Jacob Trouba has scored for the Rangers, as has Dryden Hunt. They just dropped the puck in Toronto. The Avalanche and Maple Leafs are scoreless. Also, just dropped the puck in Ottawa, but Tanner Pearson has scored for Vancouver. The Canucks lead the Senators 1-0, less than 2 minutes into the game. And getting close to the midway point of the first period in Detroit, where the Seattle Kraken and Detroit Red Wings are scoreless. Golden Knights and Ducks, Penguins and Oilers to drop the puck later on tonight. The Chicago Blackhawks next in action tomorrow as they travel to Washington to face the Capitals to begin a 4-game road swing for the Blackhawks. So it's a quick spin around the hockey world here. The Indy Fuel have a 1-0 lead over the Fort Wayne Comits here at the Indiana Farmers Coliseum. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll bring you our first intermission guest, Keone Teixeira, the newly minted co-captain of the Indy Fuel. Comes up right after this. You're listening to Indy Fuel Hockey.
If you're looking for an exciting night of hockey, visit the Indiana Farmers Coliseum to help cheer our Indy Fuel to victory. If you're looking to score a great deal on business insurance, look no further than Indiana Farmers Insurance. The Indy Fuel chose Indiana Farmers Insurance because they wanted a local business that understands local business. It's a partnership that's truly worthy of a hat trick. To find an independent Indiana Farmers Insurance agent near you, visit indianafarmers.com. We're joined by the newly minted co-captain of the Indy Fuel defenseman, Keone Teixeira. What does it mean to you to be able to wear a C on your uniform and represent your team?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really big honor, and I think that I can, help lead this team throughout the season. And, it's going to be nice to be able to do it with Cliff, who was the captain last year too. So I think together we can set a good leadership role for the team and help the team out in that way.
Describe how you and Cliff can kind of work together, as well as the other two guys wearing the letters, and Seamus Malone and Brent Gates, and how you really work together as a leadership team to work with the younger guys and lead in the locker room.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we have a pretty young team this year too, and to be able to have a couple guys who've been around the league for a while, to be able to chat and communicate with them and see how the guys are feeling in the locker room and on the ice. It's good to be able to communicate and then execute that in the locker room and on the ice.
It's your third year here in Indy, your fourth year in the league. And how important is it to have that veteran ability and kind of knowing what it's like to have been through, and also be able to communicate what Doug wants, because you know what he's looking for, having been with him for as long as you have?
Yeah, I mean, it's been, like you said, I had 4 years in this league, so it's been nice for me to be able to, be on different teams. I played in Wichita my first year too, so I got to, have an experience there and learn from that season. We didn't really have a good team moving into, playing for Doug, who's a really good coach, and playing here for the last 3 years under him, and getting to know the league a little bit better. It's been nice to be able to translate what I learned to the younger guys who are coming in.
How has your game gotten more well-rounded and grown in the 4 years you've been a professional?
I mean, I think it's grown a lot. Doug and, our assistant coach, Andy Contoys, and now Duncan Dalmo, are very detailed guys, and they've been able to pick apart my game and see the areas where I can improve on and get better, and areas where I can continue to do well on. And it's been a huge help to me in the past 4 years.
Do you now take some of the things you've learned and serve as a mentor to some of the younger defensemen on the team?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, coming in, you want to impress the coaching staff and the team as well, and have a chance to get called up. So sometimes you're trying to do a lot, and when you get young guys coming in, it's nice to make them feel comfortable and let them know they can play their game and play to what they're good at and execute that on the ice and be comfortable around the guys and confident in their abilities. So I think that's probably the biggest message I can hand down to them.
You look at this team, you've got a lot of guys back from last year, but as you mentioned, a very young team as well. What's the character of this team? What do you like about this team so far?
I mean, so far we have a pretty close group of guys, and we've been going through a tough stretch right now, but we're starting to play really good hockey in the last 5 games or so, and being able to put together some quality things that we've been working on the ice and being able to execute that, and to have these young guys come in and they're so talented and they work hard and they're always ready to learn and try to get better. So the core group of this team has been really strong throughout the beginning of the season. I think we have a lot more to learn, and we're heading in the right direction for sure.
You had a lot of success together last year, especially at the start of the year. Had a great start, had a great finish as well, getting into the playoffs. And was there just a little sense of some unfinished business from last year that you guys are carrying over and trying to carry over to this season?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I thought that it obviously didn't end the way that we